car shopping shouldn't be a game of 20 questions. Is this the right price? Am I making the right choice? With Car Gurus, you don't have to question yourself. It's no wonder Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com. cargurus.com. Guys, you know what they say, new year, new me. Am I right? Okay, but seriously, this time I actually kind of mean it. I've been starting some of my mornings off with Masterclass, and I actually feel like it's helping me work towards my 2026 goals in a big way. On Masterclass, I've been taking the storytelling and humor class with David Sedaris. It's been helping me bring funny and meaningful moments from my real life into my writing more seamlessly and purposefully. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/weirdest. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/weirdest. masterclass.com/weirdest. At Popular Science, we report and write dozens of science and tech stories every week. And while a lot of the fun facts we stumble across make it into our articles, there are lots of other weird facts that we just keep around the office. So we figured, why not share those with you? Welcome to The Weirdest Thing I Learned This Week from the editors at Popular Science. I'm Jess.
I'm Maddie.
And I'm Ricky.
Woo! Yeah! Welcome to the show! Yeah! Are you guys excited?
Oh yeah,
yes.
Thank you. Yes.
It sounded like such a. It sounded like such a like a canned video game celebration. I didn't want to interrupt it.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. Yeah. Woo!
Well, okay. Tell us about who you are and the stuff you make.
My name is Maddie. Maddie is talking on everything. I kind of almost exactly like Jess. Podcast producer, video essay maker, fan of information. Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff. I do a lot of things, but yeah, I think that's it.
That sounds like you, Ricky. What about you?
I'm Ricky Peacock. It's my real name, and it's also my name on everything. I also, much like Jess, went to the same school, went to the same middle school as her, went to the same high school as her, hung out with her mom a lot growing up. And
you have to explain that. You have to explain that. You can't just say that.
Well, I mean, she's a teacher and she taught.
Okay. Thank you.
She's a teacher and she taught me. And Jess's mom was my teacher growing up and inspired and instilled in a show all about learning things.
True.
She instilled a love of learning things in me. And so and I'm kind of helping you flesh out your sort of bona fides as the host of this show 8 years in.
Oh, I suppose you're correct.
Just so you know, Jess has a mom who loves to teach people to like learning things. And also I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm a Twitch streamer. That's the other thing. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ricky Peacock. Anyway.
Yeah, and all the links will all be in the description as usual.
And click every one.
Yeah, click them. And okay, so you might notice Rachel is absent, and that is because she is still on her maternity leave, taking care of a human child. So you'll know that.
Congratulations, Rachel.
Yeah, it's really exciting. But yeah, if you got the end of last season, you'll know. She gave the full spiel, but I'll be holding down the fort for the next couple episodes, next couple months. But she'll be back. And we'll be sprinkling in some of me and Rachel's favorite retro episodes too to pass the time, like from seasons like 1 and 2, because we're now in season 10. This is season 10, episode 1, which is insane.
We're kicking off season 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got to do so. One of the beloved characters needs to have a big life-changing moment. Oh wait, it's happening. The host is having a baby. This is such season 10 behavior.
It really is. So yeah, everything's fine. Everything's good. You'll still get your bi-weekly dose of weird facts.
I'm freaking out personally.
Whenever anybody goes, everything's fine.
It's very calming.
I'm constantly telling myself that everything's fine, and it works out. So, you know, Everything is fine.
Jess, you're kind of like the duck paddling on water.
What
you
does
seem
that
so
mean?
cool. You seem so cool and collected, but underneath, a lot of effort happening.
A flurry of action.
Somebody on the British traders just made that analogy, and I thought she invented it.
Are you kidding? No.
I was like, that's the smartest thing I've ever heard somebody say.
And now you know it's not.
Now I know she's just repeating some crap she heard.
She heard it from me on this episode of the
Whoa.
podcast.
That can't be possible.
Season
10 is really starting off crazy. There's a time travel arc.
Just regretting this. So
I should have asked someone else.
Are we doing good?
Oh, brother. Okay, let's get into the facts. So this is the normal thing Rachel says, which is, on the weirdest thing I learned this week, we start by each offering up a fact or story about something that we learned over the course of reading, writing YouTube videos, gaming, I edited this, having too many tabs open, just being on the computer, etc. And then deciding which one of us goes first. Then after we all have a chance to spin our little science yarns, we decide what the weirdest thing we learned this week actually was. And that's what Rachel says when she hosts, but we don't decide that there is a winner anymore. And we haven't done that for seasons at this point, but we're too stubborn to change the intro.
I love that because we all win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We all get a participation trophy.
Typical.
And knowledge is the greatest trophy there is. I would say that.
This is a trio of millennials.
There's a lot of them crawling around these days, man. Like it or not, you know. Millennial
We're everywhere.
trios that have podcaster setups are a virus.
This is technically a streaming setup, but I have
Technically. Technically. So to start, we can each, as I just mentioned, give a little overview, one sentence tease about each of our facts. I'll go first. My tease is, I'm going to talk about the tree that is actually a bomb.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yep. Maddie, what are you going to talk about?
Beavers are essentially combating every bad climate thing humans are doing. And I think it's fascinating.
Actually, climate heroes?
Actually, beavers are actually climate heroes. Aww.
You're welcome.
This beaver is actually a climate hero.
Humans hate this beaver for this one trick.
Ricky, what's your tease?
I haven't presented my tease. This is the dumbest animal on planet Earth. I don't know if that's true or not. I should maybe not paint with such broad strokes.
I think if you believe it, you should stand by.
That's how this show works. Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, I think I want to hear about the climate, the beaver superhero.
The beavers are climate heroes?
What?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd happily talk about beavers. They're one of my favorite animals, and honestly, a lot of this information that I've learned in the last 2 weeks, because I have always loved them and appreciated them, and in the back of my mind, I've always had this fact that second to humans, beavers affect their environment more than any other creature. Right?
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And that's like from the dams and stuff.
That makes sense.
I don't want to spoil it, but yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Really putting the log before the horse.
And wait a second. I thought you said you believe cuss words. Thank you. I wanted to get it in there before someone else got
the guests are fighting back.
No, I found them so fascinating, and so what happened was I was like the rest of the world, apparently, according to box office numbers. I saw Zootopia 2. And without spoiling anything other than the thing I'm about to spoil, it has beavers in it.
Uh-huh.
Which I thought
what would you rate it out of 10?
The movie? I don't do ratings anymore.
What do you mean you don't do ratings anymore?
I get scared. I don't want I don't want to run.
What?
I don't want to. You know what? When I was a kid, I saw the movie Hugo. I saw the movie Hugo at the River East 21 in Chicago, Illinois, and I gave Hugo. It was like a preview screening, and I gave Hugo 4 stars. And I was sitting right behind Thelma Shoemaker, or Schumacher. I don't know. Put it in the comments. That's called engagement farming. And I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. It's directed by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
As the theater was filling, or like what's the opposite of filling out? Emptying out.
Filling in.
Filling in, emptying out. I was pulled to the side and someone said, "Hey, any of you give the movie 4 stars?" And I said, yeah. And they were like, "Oh, that's great. Our client really wants to speak to someone who gave it 4 stars."
What?
And so I start chewing gum because I'm like, I'm about to tell Martin Scorsese what I thought was wrong with this movie. And it, and the anxiety like almost popped my head like a grape. And I really regretted giving it 4 stars or even at least telling anybody. But there was a reprieve because they said, actually, he's got to go. And they left.
They
and
just
I said,
threatened you.
Never again do I want to face someone in their hard work. And it takes so much effort to get anything made. I just don't like rating things. Anyway, Zootopia 5 out of 10, in my opinion. It's fine. It's fine. I'm never really a big Zootopia guy. Anyway, this one was great because of the beaver. They put beavers in it. There's a lot of fun. The movies are not made for me. They're made for kids.
I do like the animal puns in the first one.
You like the animal, excuse me?
The puns, like the sloths being slow at the DMV.
Yes.
Right? Isn't
now
that
that
Zootopia?
is funny. That's Zootopia or Zootropolis in the rest of the world. Yeah, there was a couple funny jokes. Like there was a really weird joke where like a lizard was in, because they go to like a lizard water world. And now I am spoiling some things.
Lizard water world.
The lizards are not allowed in Zootopia.
All right, man. I can't.
Is it a classist story?
It is a classist story. And then it made you go, oh yeah, I guess in Zootopia 1 there are no reptiles. But also beavers. So there's this area where it's like beavers and water mammals live with lizards in like some sort of swamp bayou area. And so the beavers are there. And I just kind of locked in on the fact that they obviously animate the big 2 front teeth or the big 4 front teeth, but you really only see the 2 because they're kind of outside. The larger ones are on the top and the smaller ones on the bottom. Those are called incisors, right? And then it got me really fixated on the teeth of the beaver. And I was like, huh. And it's nothing against the movie, but I could not think about anything else. But wait, I didn't say this is all over the place. Sorry, this is me. But there's a joke.
This is me.
You're drowning.
Take it or
What's
leave
happening?
I'm doing great. I did 110 episodes of podcast where this was essentially it. There's a joke about one of the lizards drop its tail, and then someone freaks out. And they go, ah! And then the lizard goes, "You can keep it," which I got a real laugh out of me. It got a real laugh.
That's
out of
awesome. I saw a video of a guy in their 2 guys in their garage. This was on Instagram Reels. You guys should check it out sometime. A lot of good stuff on there. It was an Instagram reel of 2 guys in a garage, and on the shelves, there was like a iguana or some sort of lizard or something that had made its way into these people's garages, on the shelves or whatever. And the one guy goes, "Look, he's right there. Get him." And the other guy walks up and grabs the tail, and they have a little bit of a scuffle for a second, and then the lizard pops his little tail off and scurries away. And the guys are freaking out because he throws the tail and it lands on the hood of the car where the hood and the windshield meet, and it's just kind of flopping around next to the windshield wipers. And they're freaking out, and the guy's like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." And then in the comments, somebody commented, I read about this in books, but I never seen it happen before. And I was like, wow, me either, I guess. But so it was kind of an educational video as well.
It's a real thing. I don't know if I assume iguanas grow their tail back. They really need the tail.
They must.
My wife had some crested geckos.
Tail? Oh.
No. But that would be her business, not yours.
And Maddie yanked it off and it never grew back.
But the crested geckos lose their tails, but they don't grow back.
Oh.
And they call them frog butts.
Oh. I didn't know there were lizards that didn't grow them back.
There are.
Huh.
Yeah. And that might be the weirdest thing you find out this week, but that's not one of mine.
That's got to be so much anxiety. Talk about like getting anxiety about when to use your consumables. You know, it's like, is this the one time I'm gonna pop my tail off, or should I save it for an even more dangerous predator? You know,
it's like your master ball.
Yeah.
I guess they don't inherently know that the tail's going to grow back, but they just do it out of fear, and then it does grow back.
Interesting. I had never even considered the fact that the iguana maybe doesn't even know that his tail's not going to grow back.
A crazy thought.
But it's actually like almost electronic the way that the tail comes off in like
right. It's like more mechanical than anything.
Yeah,
right?
because you can kind of see the port for the tail versus the male part of the tail and the female part of the hind end where the tail goes in. So or comes out. It's really fascinating. But yeah, I think if I lost my tail the first time, I'd be so stressed out, and then when it grew back, I'd be like, "Oh, thank God." And then the second time I did it, I'd be a little bit less stressed out, and the third time, probably the same as the fourth, fifth, sixth. I'm like, "Whatever. This thing's coming back." Anyway, we're not here to talk about lizard tails. Not even here to talk about beaver tails. That's not even in my stuff, but it's a fascinating element. Sorry, spoiler alert, no beaver tail talk. But anyway, so I'm watching Zootopia, putting you back in the line.
Oh my God, we're still getting the framework.
I haven't even got, I still have 6 pages of this stuff.
Oh God.
I don't. It's not that much. But I'm watching Zootopia. I'm thinking about the beaver teeth, the incisors. I'm going, what's going on in the back? They have the big 4 front teeth. What goes on in the back? Do you all know? I know that some of you have had rodents before.
My guess is nothing.
That was my guess.
Is it like molar kind of stuff back there?
It's molar kind of stuff back there, is what I have written down. Yeah, they just have normal, regular molar teeth back there, and then the big front incisors. I thought that was fascinating. So I leave Zootopia. In the middle of Zootopia, I go to the restroom, and I Google beaver skull. And I am just looking at photos of beaver skull.
Some craven pervert in the bathroom of the movie theater gets out of Zootopia and immediately Googling beaver skull.
I was just consumed by curiosity, and I found it incredible. And so obviously the teeth are prominently depicted in the film. That's what the thing you know about them. They chew wood, take down trees, and then you have the big teeth. Anyway, but yes, they have the molars in the background that grind up vegetation because they're vegetarians, or that's not what you call animals. Herbivores or herbivores. But anyway, and I remember about the 2 front teeth that they grow forever. Did you know that?
I had heard that.
They grow forever. And I remember very distinctly an episode of the Angry Beavers television show on Nickelodeon where
guy loves beavers.
Or cartoons.
This guy loves cartoon beavers.
All of his animal knowledge comes from cartoons.
But you know what's funny is that they're pretty good about it.
I was gonna say, honestly, not a bad jumping off point.
Yes, exactly. And there's in an episode of the Angry Beavers, I think there's Dag and Norbert. Dag sees a PSA about how the beaver incisors can grow forever if they're not worn down by chewing on trees. And if they do grow forever, they can, and this is real, grow back into the skull of the beaver.
Danger.
Which happens a lot with like ram horns as well. They gotta like bang it on something to wear it down.
That's right. Because then they'll go into their head.
Yeah. And there have been documented cases of beavers, like they're whether they're like they can't use the teeth or something for some other reason, but the teeth are growing back in like a loop-de-loop.
That's got to be so stressful to just literally have a thing that if you don't take care, like I have a chore each day that if you don't care of it, it's going to pierce your brain. I cannot imagine the anxiety.
They probably don't think about it, but they got to be like, well, this tooth is getting a little close to my eyeball.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have a confession to make.
What?
I guess it's more of a question, but it feels deeply embarrassing.
Okay.
Did they eat the wood?
That's a good question.
Did they eat the wood?
Question.
It's a really
or do they
good
just
question.
chew the wood for their house?
They just chew the wood for their house.
They don't eat the wood. So what do they eat?
They don't eat them. Vegetation.
So just plants and vegetables.
Non-woody vegetation.
Non-wood.
You telling me they don't? You're telling me they eat it, they chew it, and they don't even get a little bit in there? They don't
I'm sure they're eating a little bit of wood.
It's like seasoning.
So they're eating a little bit of the wood, but not all of it.
They're not intentionally eating the wood.
Okay.
May I move on?
Sure. Okay. Sorry, I thought this was a show about curiosity.
Well, I don't have any more information than they don't eat the wood.
Maddie, your curious spirit died when you Googled beaver skull.
I don't have enough information on whether they eat the wood or not. It's giving me anxiety, so just accept the fact that they don't eat the wood. I'm not an expert. I'm just fascinated by this. Okay.
Fine.
It is a fact that humans, second to humans, beavers change their habitat more than any other creature. They obviously cut down trees, but they can create wetlands and they can change the direction of rivers. Now that is fascinating.
That's like
wouldn't you agree?
I would agree.
Because of this, they have been dubbed ecosystem engineers and are called a keystone species, which is also a thing I learned. Which is a species that have a disproportionately profound impact on their environment relative to their numbers. Now, I would posit, not a scientist, but I would posit that they are not second to humans in the disproportionate changing of their climate.
Oh, sure, because there's so many of us.
Because there's only like 60 million of them or something like that, max. So we have, what are we at? 8 billion? I mean, yes, we're doing a number on the
I think we could do way more environmental destruction. I think we need to get those numbers up. They're pathetic compared to the beavers.
I'm sure that we are working on it, unfortunately. But okay, so this would then become no surprise that they are also climate allies. Because everything they do is natural, unlike humans, which is mostly unnatural stuff, right?
Right. We're so unnatural.
When you think of the beaver, you think of what? You've already mentioned it.
Dam.
The dam.
Anal gland.
Exactly.
Anal gland.
Okay.
They do.
Okay.
I didn't actually have anything about the anal glands in my research. I did think about it. But I thought
that was one of the first facts on this show in like season 1. Is
whoa,
the vanilla
I'm a bit of a
anal
historian
gland.
of this show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're a real expert.
Beaver dams are also incredibly cool, which I didn't know this about beaver dams. That they knock down all the trees, they chew on the trees, they fall, and then they drag them to make the dam, which makes these little ponds. Now, this is all stuff we know. I'm not teaching anybody anything here. But I could stop right there because I think that's fascinating enough. But more interesting is what happens after they make the ponds. The dams create big, deep pools of cold water. In this, they build the beaver den. And the dens are basically beaver-made islands in the middle of the ponds, or sometimes along the banks, that are only accessible via underground tunnels.
You must not be an actual Angry Beavers fan, because that's what their house was in the show.
I didn't watch it. I haven't watched it in like 20 years.
That explains why you didn't know that his name was Daggett instead of Dag, which you so embarrassingly called him. Anyway, that's really awesome, Maddie.
I can't wait for you and your no research. I'm gonna go crazy.
Here's a fact that speaking of media properties about beavers. Here's a fact that I learned from the film Hundreds of Beavers. They're really susceptible to Looney Tunes style traps. You can make you can make a bunch of different kinds of traps, and that various beavers will. You can have one that throws them. You put them in a can, shoot them out of a cannon. But actually, some of the beavers are really smart, where they actually didn't get caught by the traps, and they had the guy get caught in the trap that he tried to build for the beavers. So I guess beavers contain multitudes, is what I'm learning.
This film has been recommended to me by a lot of friends.
You got to see it. You would love it.
Is it? I would love it. Okay, and
as a guy who just said how hard it is to make something, you would watch this and go, "Damn."
Does it?
Pun
does
intended.
It have
That was
violence
good.
against animals? Does it have
No. Well, if you include the guy like
cartoon peril?
he like shoots a gun and it says like bam, and then a big smoke, and then a guy in a beaver costume falls over. It's like it's
okay.
It's as stupid as it can possibly be, but it's very good.
I'll give it a
What is it
shot.
called again?
It's called Hundreds of Beavers, made by a Chicago native. In fact, and he has another movie called something to the effect of like the Lake Michigan Monster or something that I really want to watch as well. It's really really good. It's like a live action Looney Tunes with that doesn't it like. It's like conforming the real world into Looney Tunes logic rather than what happens in like Space Jam where they're conforming Looney Tunes into real world logic,
I like that.
It's really good. Also, another cartoon beaver. Maddie, have you seen Maddie or Jess, have you seen The Wild Robot?
No, but I've heard of it.
Okay.
And
I didn't watch The Wild Robot
great.
for the same reason I didn't watch Flow. It's because Animals in Peril really.
I don't like
stresses
Animals
me.
in Peril either. Flow made me a little sad, a little bit too frequently.
Yeah.
But The Wild Robot,
The
The Wild Robot is pretty good because it is, in my opinion, mostly emotionless and mostly feels like it was made by ChatGPT. So you don't have to worry about feeling too strongly about it. But there is a beaver in that movie, and the robot is in this community of animals. The robot like gets sent by some big company and then gets abandoned in the woods and then becomes friends with all the animals, right? And in this animal community, the fox, by the way, voiced by Pedro Pascal, who's Zaddy. Am I right, guys? There's a beaver in this community, and he's like the wily old coot, as they tend to be. Can you say wily old coot on this show? Is that fine?
Well, you've done it twice now.
His whole thing is he is trying to cut down this tree that's like the size of a skyscraper. And it's like a mile wide. Okay, probably not a mile, but it's like hundreds of feet wide. And when we meet him, he's like chewing through this tree, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're still trying to chew through that big tree?" And he's like, "You'll see, you'll all see." And then at the end of the movie, he chews through the tree. Not the huge spoiler. You kind of figure it's kind of Chekhov's tree, when they set it up in the first act. He chews through the tree, and then all of the animals are like, "Yeah!" They're all celebrating and that was genuinely the most. I almost cried. That was the most emotional part of the whole movie. Was him. He did it. It was his life's work. He tried to chew through the whole tree, and he chewed through the whole tree. And then all of his friends who doubted him the whole time, by the way, they all celebrated for him, which is like, I hope you guys never switch up on me like that. If you're fucking doubting me, like, I hope I can at least trust you two to be there by my side when I'm like, going on a life-changing undertaking. Basically, if you love me at my worst, you take me at my best, etc. So, Jess, what do you got going on?
I'm not finished. I looked up a picture of Paddler, and now I kind of want to watch the film.
Is that the guy?
I think so.
Googling
Voiced by Matt
Robot
Berry.
Skulls.
Beaver?
Is he voiced by Matt Berry?
Yes, he is.
I'm gonna chop this tree
I'm going
down.
to chop this tree. He does. I mean, he really does just sound like that.
And
It was a
worked
good
for him.
movie. I shouldn't have said the ChatGPT thing. It was pretty good.
He takes it back.
I redact my statement.
Well, following spoilers for The Wild Robot. So the interesting thing about the dam that I did not know, I thought they were just making houses, right? But the dam, in turn, completely alters the ecosystem around them. Obviously, if you think about it one step further, they're stopping water flow, right? So it can cause floods that make the dry land around them wet, of course. And the cold water is great for the salmon populations that otherwise get either washed downstream and out to sea, or just simply die in waters that are too warm. And it offers salmon, baby salmon, places to hide from predators. So they're kind of like best buds in that way.
That's
which
sick.
is very sweet.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Any question, or sorry, not any questions. I don't have the answers. So any guesses on how long the largest beaver dam in the world is?
Like length?
Sure. And I think it's length in circumference as well. So
Oh.
take a stab at it.
100 yards.
Yeah. Football field.
The largest beaver dam was discovered in 2007 via satellite images.
Whoa.
On Google
Okay.
Earth, and is 2,790 feet long. That's about 850 meters and is 7 times longer than the Hoover Dam.
Damn.
Oh my God.
I did it again.
Yeah, you did it again.
Damn.
The wet vegetation that grows as a result of the dams also acts as natural wildfire breaks, which prevent the spread of wildfires, obviously.
Dang.
Scientists have actually been able to attribute lower wildfires in areas to the work of beavers. So if there are beavers around, wildfires are harder to be found.
That's sick.
I think I just made that up. Not the fact, but the rhyme.
The limerick, yeah.
Uh-huh.
The limerick. Here's a little bit
They
of
call
actual...
me Limerick. Sorry.
I really sometimes wonder if Jess is regretting this or not.
I'm just sitting here letting you two just go to town.
Alexa Whipple restoration. That was laughing at me trying to get back on track, and not the name Whipple. Alexa Whipple, a restoration ecologist with the Methau Beaver Project, also found that following a wildfire, the areas with more beavers had more regular pH levels in the years following fires. Damn. Alexa attributed this to beaver dams and resulting vegetation trapping and settling sediment and ash quicker than the areas without. Obviously, the wetter the area, the faster ash will settle, and the less it's floating all over the place. So they're essentially, every bad thing that we're doing as people in destroying the climate, they are completely undoing. And that's kind of why, and I think as chronicled in Hundreds of Beavers, man and beaver have often been at odds. Beavers used to be everywhere. And the fur trade, along with the perception of beavers being nuisances who cut down desired trees and cause unwanted flooding, has resulted in them being hunted to near extinction in the 1800s.
It's not right.
It's not
Yikes.
right. But don't freak out, because with conservation efforts, they are not only at the numbers they once were, but have bounced back significantly and are not endangered. And on the conservation concern list, they are marked as the least concern. So beavers are back in a big way.
Chilling.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yes. And there may even be more hope, is what I have to say about this in a sentence that I wrote and have read before. Obviously, as humans have done nearly everything they can to kill the earth, they are now realizing how valuable the beaver is, especially in drought times. An animal that just wants to make dry lands wet? Yes, please. I wrote that part. Another little bonus fact about the beavers is that they tend to form monogamous relationships and mate for life. And
Aw.
I know, isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
And form strong familial bonds. A beaver family can be a mixture of 2 or 3 generations of parents or kids.
That's cute.
That's not the main fact. I'm past the main facts. These are all bonuses. But
I like the bonuses.
thank you. Just thank you so much.
Yeah. Did you need that little crumb of validation?
Not really, but I appreciated you giving it
I'm
to
happy
Must
to
be
offer
nice.
it. Yes.
I'm just ignoring Ricky. And they are so close with the other beavers that thankfully conservationists have realized this. And if a beaver family is encroaching on like a farmer's property or becoming a nuisance, the entire family will be removed and relocated. And they are kept in holding facilities until they can catch all of the others in the family.
Oh, man.
So that they are then reunited and moved together like it's the witness protection program.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All
You
in all-
gotta hope they're not making the holding facilities out of wood. That's a
a
little
great
beaver.
point.
That's a beaver joke for you.
That's a really great point. And it was that truly, Ricky, was one of those so funny. I didn't forget to laugh, but I just respected it so
I
much.
didn't feel that funny. I'll be honest, but I appreciate the props.
And that's my and thank you for coming to my TED Talk about beavers.
That was awesome.
They seem to exist in
That
direct
was-
competition with humans who want to seemingly destroy the earth. That's the last thing I wrote.
Maybe beavers are the only thing keeping the earth alive, you know?
It feels like
Honestly, beavers and bees, go
Yeah.
off.
it. Yep.
Go off.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back with more facts. Car shopping shouldn't be a game of 20 questions. Is this the right price? Am I making the right choice? With Car Gurus, you don't have to question yourself. Car Gurus has the most inventory, transparent deal ratings, and real-time price drop alerts. Plus, with Car Guru's app, you can access dealership mode, which gives you everything you need to navigate the dealership with confidence. What is dealership mode, you might ask? Well, it is a special mode on the Car Guru's app that puts you in control. You can compare cars side by side, check pricing, and estimate your final cost, so you can navigate the dealership with confidence. It's no wonder Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com. cargurus.com. Are you starting the year off with a wardrobe refresh? Well, Quince has got you covered with luxe essentials that feel effortless and look polished. They're perfect for layering, mixing, and building a wardrobe that lasts. Their versatile style makes it easy to reach for them day after day. Quince has all the staples covered, from soft Mongolian cashmere sweaters that feel like designer pieces without the markup, to 100% silk tops and skirts for easy dressing up, to perfectly cut denim for everyday wear. Their wardrobe essentials are crafted to last season after season. And like everything from Quince, each piece is made with premium materials in ethical, trusted factories, then priced far below what other luxury brands charge. If you listen to the show, you've heard me rave about Quince cashmere before, and I'm going to do it again. That Mongolian cashmere fisherman crewneck sweater used as a layering piece this exceptionally bitter and cold winter, I've never felt warmer or more stylish. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Don't wait. Go to quince.com/weirdest for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. That's quince.com/weirdest to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/weirdest. Okay, we're back, and I'm going to talk about the trees. So
The
as you
beavers
both
start to
know-
freak out. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, all of our facts are kind of like interconnected this week, actually.
That's exciting.
Yeah, we're all aligned. But as you two know, as the listeners probably don't know, I've been in Australia for the last month or so. Ricky was also here semi-recently.
I was.
And the thing I was most excited about coming here was like all of the new plants and animals that I had never seen before, because like shit is wildly different here. Like there is stuff here that is not anywhere else. Like I found one statistic that says 7 to 10% of all species on Earth are native to Australia. Just across like every order. So it's very diverse. And then of that 7 to 10% of all species being native to here, of that diversity, 80% of all plants and mammals here are not found anywhere else. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of stuff here that doesn't leave, and it's because it's so isolated. And I've seen a lot of that stuff. Like I went to the zoo and I saw like platypuses and echidnas and bilbies and wombats and kangaroos and emus. And I saw like kookaburras, those birds up in the trees.
They live in the old gum trees.
Yep. Which is the topic of conversation, actually.
The gum tree?
Perhaps, yes.
Whoa.
Indeed. So, speaking of, I think the biggest spectacle of Australian wilderness that I've seen is when I went to the Blue Mountains, which is this huge mountain range, like 2 hours west of Sydney. And huge as in like it's wider than the Grand Canyon. So it's like 4,400 square miles of mountain. And they're 470 million years old. So that's 10 times older than the Grand Canyon as well. So kind of a grander canyon, but you know, just saying.
Really firing a broadside shot at the Grand Canyon. That's kind of all we've got in America. You know that, right?
Listen, I'm in Australia for 3 weeks. Some things have changed, okay?
You know, if you come back, the Grand Canyon's going to be ready to rock.
Is that a pun?
Sure.
And so when I went in the Grander Canyon, there were a lot of like weird plants and animals that were really cool. I saw like big ass colorful birds. I saw like a little reptile skink lizard. Cockatoos were everywhere. They were super loud and weird and
are they just
funny.
making noise? Like, is it just always noise?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That sounds nice.
The cockatoos are like they are like not nice chirping.
I owned a cockatoo when I was a kid.
You did?
Might have been a cockatiel. I don't know.
The cockatoos are like the really like big.
Commenters, tell me which one I own more than likely. in the mid-Atlantic region when I was...
He's a damn professional.
Oh, this man. But I think the you know, the most notable thing about the Blue Mountains as far as flora and fauna go are the expansive eucalyptus forests. Because the vast majority of the Blue Mountains, which are made of sandstone, by the way, all of these mountains are pretty much like all covered in trees. And for the most part, those trees are eucalyptus trees. And we did like walk by one and grab the leaves and like smell the leaves. And I was like, oh, it's eucalyptus. And the eucalyptus forests, what did you say?
It's confirmed. Yep, that's
Confirmed.
eucalyptus.
Yes, confirmed. So the eucalyptus forests are why the Blue Mountains are blue. Because if you look off in the distance at the mountains, they have like a blue haze. And that's obviously why they're called that. And it's because there are like these oil droplets, the eucalyptus oil droplets that are kind of like emitted from the trees. And so the sunlight like scatters differently through those droplets and like through dust and other stuff in the air, and it makes it look blue. And that's like not dissimilar to why our sky is blue. Basically, like the shorter blue wavelengths of light are scattered more easily through all that junk in the air, in the sky, and then also like in the Blue Mountain haze. So, and like longer red-orange wavelengths are not scattered. So kind of neat.
I didn't know that. That's really fascinating.
I learned that while I was there, and that's extremely cool.
It's a really cool thing, yeah.
Save you all a trip if you haven't been to Australia. Now you know.
Don't go to the Blue Mountains. You know
have
the
to
cool
go
fact.
learn
Blue Mountains
that
are blue. Next.
And the smog is why the sunsets are so pretty. It's a little LA joke for you.
LA is in my fact as well, actually.
I can't wait.
Stay tuned. So yeah, as we were like Googling all this Blue Mountain stuff, me and my partner were Googling this over a delicious bowl of pho and drinking a Vietnamese coffee. Because day one we got there, it was like 100 degrees hot. Day two, 50 degrees and foggy. Insane.
Whoa.
It was crazy. I'm glad we did our hike the first day because you couldn't see shit on day two. But so yeah, we got soup on day two. But we were Googling stuff. And that's how we learned about the blue haze and the eucalyptus. And my partner goes, didn't Americans try to plant a bunch of eucalyptus trees in America back in the day, and it all went to shit, and the branches fell off randomly, and then they exploded? Oh. And I was like, huh?
Whoa. Are you going to tell us that did happen?
And I Googled it, and he is correct.
Wow.
Yeah. My partner is Australian, so he apparently just learned about the stupid Americans planting their Australian trees, and
Makes sense.
Yep. So back in the mid 1800s, California, here it comes, was facing a timber shortage, and they wanted to build.
Sorry.
Okay. Yep. They wanted to build like railroads and stuff, right? And they didn't have enough trees and forests to farm lumber. So they heard about the giant, strong eucalyptus trees in Australia. It was being colonized at the time. They were like, "Yo, let's get some of those." So they planted the first seed in California in 1853. By the 1870s, there was eucalyptus craze. People were obsessed with planting eucalyptus trees. They were convinced it was the solution to their problems. There were these people called forest tycoons that were trying to make their fortune by planting forests and farming them for lumber. So yeah, and they were great. The trees were great because they would grow in really dry soil that was previously unable to hold onto any vegetation. So instead of dry grasses, all of a sudden people had 20, 30, 50 foot trees with shade and shelter and windbreaks and stuff like that. And that goes a long way when you have a hot Californian summer. And aside from that too, their strong root systems improved soil quality for other kinds of farms and stuff. And they drained swampy areas too. So less stagnant water, malaria rates dropped because fewer mosquitoes, stuff like that.
Wow.
And because eucalyptus didn't naturally grow in the US, they had no natural pests or diseases. So it was everything coming up eucalyptus.
Yeah, and that's where it ends, and it worked out.
Yep, and the credits roll, and everyone lived happily ever after.
And I'm looking at a eucalyptus tree right now outside my apartment.
Yep. But then they tried to start cutting down the trees and using them for railroad cable ties. And when they would try to dry the wood, it wouldn't dry all perfect and nice like it did in Australia. It would twist and warp, and then it would get really dense and hard. So it was impossible to even nail a spike through it, like a railroad spike. And it did the same thing when they would try to use it for framing and fence posts and everything. And why? It's because they were trying to do things the American way and fast track it.
Classic.
Yep. And eucalyptus doesn't really become usable as a timber until it's really, really, really old, hundreds of years old, basically. So it's not worth using as a farmable timber. But it was already everywhere, and they had already planted a bazillion eucalyptus trees, and oops. And yeah, sure, there were some positive benefits like the ones I mentioned, but they're still kind of an invasive species. And sure, there are still many eucalyptus trees in California everywhere, and they look and smell delightful. But they do randomly drop their branches seemingly out of nowhere. And it's very funny. It's an emotional response. They do it if they're stressed from heat.
Like lizards.
Or whatever. Yeah, it is like lizards.
Wow.
It straight up is like lizards. Or they'll do it if they're aging and they just want to drop a branch. And these are huge trees.
Yeah, I just looked them up because I was have I ever seen one of these before? I don't know.
You must have.
Sure,
you must have. They're all over LA.
Past them.
Yeah, I'm sure if you know what to look for, you'll see them. So in Australia, these trees are known as widowmakers because the falling branches have killed people.
Dang.
Even just last year and the year before, a handful of people were killed by falling branches.
Wow, I had not. That's a badass name for a tree, man. I don't know if they get more badass than that.
That
Overwatch
kind of
reference.
Sounds a lot like. I mean, it must have been the same exact time because California is very young as a place in terms of people kind of building them out as cities. But they also did the same thing with palm trees, and they're not native here, and
yes.
They seem like they offer less than eucalyptus trees, to be quite honest.
Yes. But that's part of it, right? Is they have these two invasive trees that are also very flammable, very, very easy to light on fire. And that is perhaps the most troubling thing about at least eucalyptus. I don't really know much about the palms and how they were introduced.
Well,
but
the palms are also in a very, very similar way. They're just not from here. They planted them here because they like the look of them. They don't offer any shade because they're like 100 feet tall and they have like 4 leaves, and the leaves are massive. And they do also, much like eucalyptus, fall in the street.
Right.
I don't think they're making widows, but they're certainly causing car accidents.
Yes. At least inconveniencing people.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, the eucalyptus, similar, and also saturated with that very flammable eucalyptus oil, the stuff that makes the Blue Mountains blue. It also fuels forest fires in Australia and in the US. For instance, the 1991 quote unquote Oakland firestorm. That's what they literally call it that. Burned for 5 days, largely fueled by eucalyptus trees. So killed 25 people, injured 250, destroyed 1,500 acres of land, which included 2,843 single-family homes, 437 apartments. And in today's money, it's an economic loss of over $3 billion.
Holy smokes. That was another pun. That one was in bad taste. That was completely unintentional.
I almost
really stepping in
I almost didn't catch it.
I mean, it's not intentional, I promise.
And one of the people who lost their house in this disaster was Will Wright, the guy who made The Sims.
I literally was like, are you talking about the Sims Spore guy? Or are you talking about Spore?
Yes, he lost his house. The Spore.
Aren't there spores on the eucalyptus tree? Or no? I was trying to make a connection.
Well, there is a connection. There's a connection because when he made SimCity 2000, he added a scenario about like the city's recovery from the fire.
Wow, look at that.
Yep.
Healing.
And obviously, this does like bring to mind the LA fires from a year ago, which were not mainly kicked off by or like even mainly fueled by eucalyptus, but they did undoubtedly play a part. You know, like they're everywhere. They probably burned in some capacity. Some legislators have pushed for cutting down eucalyptus and flammable trees that like, you know, fuel fires like this. But that's not really a full solution either. Like a full landscape of native plants wouldn't have stopped the fires in their tracks. You know what I mean? It's more about building fire-safe buildings, establishing better fire and water protocols.
Having beavers.
Perhaps having beavers.
Beavers.
Who are all getting there at the exact same moment. We want the beavers.
Yeah. And, you know, like clearing out brush and stuff like that. So it's not like a one-stop shop solution. But anyway, shout out to Australia's Blue Mountains and its eucalyptus trees, without which we wouldn't have a random city fire recovery scenario in SimCity 2000 or something, you know.
Wow.
And
look at
that's
that.
my fact.
And thank you for that.
Yep. All right, we're going to take one more quick break and then we'll be back with more facts. Now that the holidays are over, you might be feeling like you've got a big spending hangover. You know, the drinks, the holiday, food, travel, gifts, it all adds up. Luckily, Mint Mobile is here to help you cut back on overspending on wireless this January with 50% off unlimited premium wireless. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can even use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Seriously, Mint Mobile makes it seamless to switch over from other carriers, which, when you're saving this much money, is basically a no-brainer. This January, quit overspending on wireless with 50% off unlimited premium wireless. Plans start at $15 a month at mintmobile.com/weirdest. That's mintmobile.com/weirdest. Limited time offer, upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. More than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com. Guys, you know what they say. New year, new me. Am I right? Okay, but seriously, this time I actually kind of mean it. I've been starting some of my mornings off with masterclass, and I actually feel like it's helping me work towards my 2026 goals in a big way. I've been really wanting to sharpen my writing, especially when it comes to Weirdest Things segments and my YouTube video essays. So on masterclass, I've been taking the storytelling and humor class with David Sedaris. It's been helping me bring funny and meaningful moments from my real life into my writing more seamlessly and purposefully. And it's not just writing. With Masterclass, you get thousands of bite-sized lessons across 13 categories that can fit into even the busiest of schedules. With plans starting at $10 a month, billed annually, you get unlimited access to over 200 classes taught by the world's best business leaders, writers, chefs, and more. You can also turn your commute or workout into a classroom. With audio mode, you can listen to Masterclass lessons anytime, anywhere. And classes really make a difference. 88% of surveyed members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their lives. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/weirdest. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/weirdest. Masterclass.com/weirdest. Okay, we're back. Ricky, tell us about the animal.
Jess, you're not gonna believe this. You're not gonna freaking believe this.
Okay.
But you decide your facts were all about the eucalyptus tree. Guess what? My big thing is all about the dang koala. The koala, the guy himself. Basically, the animal that you could potentially consider to be in a symbiotic, well, maybe even parasitic relationship with the eucalyptus tree. They have formed a sort of bond with each other in many ways. The koala, potentially the dumbest animal on earth. It's hard. I mean, obviously, how do you quantify that?
I like that you've amended your statement to potentially.
Potentially. I don't want to paint, I don't want to, make any sort of broad claims that I can't back up with the hard science like Maddie had of I watched a movie. I did watch a movie, though. I watched a documentary about koala. There was a life of a koala. It was really good. Okay. I had never seen a koala running at full speed until this documentary. And man,
I don't think I've seen that.
It looks so funny. Okay, so I didn't have really one fact about a koala, but like just in general, they are so interesting. First of all, they're totally useless. I mean, everybody kind of, they're completely useless, right? They sleep for like 20 hours a day. Most people know that. The reason they sleep for 20 hours a day, why, of course, it's because they refuse to eat anything but eucalyptus leaves. And those leaves provide them with essentially zero nutrition. The other thing about the koala is they spend the majority of their life up in a eucalyptus tree. They pick a tree. First of all, another thing, there's like 700 different varieties of eucalyptus tree. The average koala will prefer less than 50, around 30 of them.
Wow.
So not only do they only eat eucalyptus trees, they're also picky eaters when it comes to eucalyptus trees. And you're asking yourself, well, Ricky, how do they determine which eucalyptus trees they like? Well, it's about to get a little yucky, folks. As we all know, koalas are marsupials. They are born after, I think, like 7 weeks. They're the size of a jelly bean. And then I heard the statistic that I think that they used on the documentary I watched was that a koala goes from its jelly bean size to it grows 25,000 times its size from the course of the moment of its birth to adulthood. So they're about 25,000 jelly beans big.
Like Smurfs.
Like Smurfs. So they come out of the the birth canal.
They're 3 apples taller, or 2 apples taller, or whatever.
I'm not up on my Smurf lore.
Yeah, Maddie knows all the Smurf. He's the Smurf lore guy of the group.
Every
friend group got the Smurf lore guy.
Yep. It's one of the first things they say.
So these little 7-week-old jelly beans crawl out of the birth canal. Weird to think about this. It's got no eyes and stuff like that. Yes, it's just a little jelly bean that uses its 4 limbs to crawl out of the birth canal, and it crawls up into the pouch of the koala, which does open downward, I learned, which seems like Why would you evolve to have your pouch open downward when you spend your whole life in a tree? I don't know.
Yeah.
The koala climbs in, right? And it latches on to the nipple inside of the pocket, okay? And then it drinks the milk of the mom for a long time, and it grows big and strong, right? But you're thinking to yourself, okay, it goes from drinking milk to just eating leaves? No. There's kind of an intermediary dietary plan that they get put on, which is they eat a byproduct of their mother's digestive process called fecal pap, which is more or less what it sounds like. It's just kind of an advanced version of Dookie, basically. But and essentially what this does is that it sort of trains the baby's digestive tract to be able to eat these eucalyptus leaves, right? Because as you might know, as I don't know if you actually discussed this or not, but the eucalyptus leaves are poisonous.
I don't think I said this.
To almost every animal in the world, these eucalyptus leaves are poisonous. There's a few animals that eat them, very few. The koalas are the only ones where they exclusively eat eucalyptus leaves. They have a special part of their digestive tract that's basically like the appendix that lets them ferment the eucalyptus leaves inside of their body and neutralize the toxins, okay? So basically, these koalas, they have these limited varietals of eucalyptus trees that they have eaten ever since they were sucking on their mama's dookie.
That's got to be a first for weirdest thing I learned, right?
Listen, we get pretty gross on here. So.
I can only imagine. So that's they have these varietals imprinted in their like right down to their core, and they find a tree that they like, they crawl up it, and they just sit there every day. They basically. It's like, that's like their house. They're just like, this is where I live now. If there's already a koala in said tree, they'll move on. It is literally, I kind of had the realization because I've also been in a big Lord of the Rings mood lately, but they're kind of like the hobbits of the animal kingdom. They don't do a whole lot. They love a leaf substance that gets them mildly f***ed up. They love to chill in the house, they don't really want to go on any big adventures, They're kind of the homebodies of the animal kingdom, which I really like about them. What else? Oh, and then the reason why they are so dumb, as is often touted, that the more wrinkles you have on your brain, the smarter you are. A koala's brain is completely smooth. It looks like a big apple made out of meat, basically. It's really crazy. They are very stupid, but if there's one thing that they have done correct over their long evolutionary lifespans, going back millions and millions of years, they have evolved to be the most adorable by human standards. And I think that's a really valuable trait to have if you're an animal. They've got big fluffy ears, huge honkable nose. They're about toddler sized. You can pick them up and they kind of just grab onto you like a toddler. And they don't move really quick, I think when an animal moves too fast, we get too scared, We like somebody that's moving like at a really reasonable pace. But yeah, they're really interesting. I think it's such they're similar to pandas in that they have evolved to completely rely on a diet that barely keeps them alive, and I find that to be so interesting.
It is. What's with that?
That is, yeah.
I don't know.
What do they even do for anybody?
They don't do anything for anybody. They don't even do anything for the eucalyptus trees that they rely on. They don't really give much back to them. They just eat the leaves, and then once there's not many leaves left in the tree, they move on to a new tree, and that's basically it.
It's not even like they're like spreading like seeds or anything for them, because a lot of eucalyptus trees like reproduce by fire. Like they need fire.
Yeah.
To release their.
Yes, and koalas famously do very poorly in the fire seasons, unfortunately. They really do not know how to handle it because, again, they've got their little neighborhoods, They've got their little forest that they live in, and they basically stay there their whole lives. So when the forest burns, a kangaroo, for example, will move on to a new place, but the koalas, they don't really know how to move that. They don't have the capability to move that far. So there's lots of organizations that help koalas relocate. Unlike the beavers, they don't have any familial ties. Koalas are a society of single mothers. They raise their baby for almost exactly 12 months, almost exactly a year. And then
Wow.
as soon as the mom is ready to mate again, she basically says, all right, kid, you're on your own. It's time to have another baby. And the cycle begins again.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they're really special creatures. I over the course of watching this documentary that I found on YouTube, I learned to love them even more. But you know, they're pretty much helpless and completely stupid. The only reason that they exist is because they have essentially no natural predators that can get up the tree that they're in. Which,
Right.
frankly, you know, that's a pretty good evolutionary adaptation to just climb the tree. You know.
Yes. Yeah, they're just up there.
They're just up there, and you know, a Komodo dragon or whatever can't catch them, or a monitor lizard or whatever's out there on the outback. Sorry, that's really offensive.
I thought we had Paul Hogan in here for a second.
Anyway, I don't know if I have much more on koalas other than that. There's just a lot of interesting
That's a lot.
eccentricities about koalas that the more you dive in, you're like, huh, really? And you guys are still around? Damn, okay. Oh, my last fact about koalas, and this is maybe less of a fact, and this is more editorializing. If there's one thing that a koala can be known for, besides all the crap that I just said, that they're cute, right? You know, giraffe got a long neck. Horses got weird knees. Koalas, they're cute. That's like their one trait.
Yeah.
However,
Are they not the ones?
Weird knees.
well, that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about horses. We're talking about koalas. Yes, Maddie?
Are they the ones, or is it sloths that are connected to chlamydia?
That's what I was going to bring up.
So that's the other. There is also the chlamydia thing. The koalas do get chlamydia. There's a scene in the documentary I watched. I think of it was they were implying that
in Zootopia 2.
No.
Tackle.
No. That's in Zootopia 2.5. You got to get the bonus features. There was a scene in the documentary I watched where they were implying that they were showing a koala who was dying of chlamydia at the foot of a tree, and it was insanely depressing. If you really must know. But yes, for some reason, koalas are susceptible to getting chlamydia as well.
That's so interesting.
My fun fact that it's more of an opinion. The koala, potentially the number one animal on Earth known for being cute. The babies are less cute than the adults.
I was going, so I looked them up while you were talking about this, because one of the things that I didn't mention about the beavers is that the beaver kits are probably one of the cutest things I've ever seen. They're like less filled out beavers, but the koalas are one of the distinguishing, distinguished for the fact that the adults are way cuter than the babies.
I think sometimes I think it's more of like the toddlers look a little strange. What it is that they don't get their big round faces. The babies have like a little bit of a weird like horse jaw at some point in their life, where their head kind of looks like they look top heavy. But you know, when they get sort of filled out with their fur, they obviously are extremely cute. I mean, they're cute no matter what. I'm really, you know, I'm splitting hairs here, but I'm just saying, you know, the guys are all cute, but the babies, you know, they got some weird cranial stuff going on.
Ricky hates baby animals.
No, I love them. Anyway, that's it.
Ricky kind of went on a hit piece about koalas. I would encourage everybody to look up beaver kits at some point during their day.
They are very cute
because they're extremely adorable. Yeah, that's fascinating. I was going to mention, now that you've brought it up a second time, a movie, if you were talking about the most depressing movie in terms of animals I've ever seen, was a documentary called Tardes de Soledad, Adventures of Solitude, which is this incredible, like, electric magnetic documentary that follows a bullfighter over the course of several fights. There's no narration. It's just footage. It's incredible to watch. The first 30 minutes shows one bullfight, and I turned it off and cried. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sounds like a huge bummer.
It really was. It really was. And I don't know why. Ricky and I often talk about how we're kind of little babies when it comes to animal peril.
I'm the same way. It's difficult.
It's awful to watch. And I don't know what made me do it, but I did. I tried, and I still recommend it. It's a fascinating documentary. I mean,
Yeah.
I think everybody should be. Yeah, I think. I the non-meat eater in me was watching it, and I was like, I shouldn't have to watch this. It's just for me. But that's my shout as we get down to the end.
Good
of the
shout.
episode.
Good shout.
Zootopia 2. the sad bullfighting documentary.
Tardes de Soledad, yes. Zootropolis 2.
And the Looney Tunes Beaver.
Hundreds of beavers. Really good.
What a trio.
I've learned so much.
I really have.
I'm so glad. Me too.
They should do more seasons of this show.
Succeeding. They should. I agree.
It's really fascinating stuff here.
Well, thanks for coming on, both of you. Remind the listeners who you are, what you make, where people can find your stuff, etc.
Yes. My name is Matt Riel. Maddie is talking on everything. I also Twitch stream, much like the two other people in the call here. I work for a company called Watcher. We just wrapped up 110 episodes of the podcast Get Scared. And I guess I can say we're working on another one.
So sneak exclusive. Peek.
We're working on another one that should be coming soon. So that's exciting.
Whoa.
That's cool. I'm Ricky, twitch.tv/Ricky Peacock. It's my damn real name, if you can believe it. I'm working on playing some video games over there. I like to do a lot of things. I like to think of myself as a patron of the arts. I've got 2 feet in the door of this sentence that I'm trying to get through, and I'm really ready to back out. Never mind. Just follow my Twitch channel if that's the kind of thing that you'd like to be watching.
The Weirdest Thing I Learned This Week is produced by all of our hosts, including me, Rachel Feltman, along with Jess Bodie, who also serves as our audio engineer and editor extraordinaire. Our theme music is by Billy Cadden. Our logo is by Katie Beloff. If you have questions, suggestions, or weird stories to share, tweet us at weirdest_thing. Thanks for listening, weirdos.